Back to my YouTube channel Mukesh Tech Hub. So in my previous video, in the part 1, we have already seen how we can apply some techniques to update the rows and columns, how we can do filtering on the data. So in this part 2, I'm going to explain what all are the advanced methods that we can do on our data. We can perform operations on our data by using those methods. So let's get started. So basically we have 4 methods, that is apply map, and replace. Right? So first let's get started with apply method. So basically apply can work on a data frame or on a series. So behavior could be different as you expect. So first let's see the behavior on the series. So let me access my data. So the data looks like that one. I have employee name, employee last name, job, location, pin code, and hobby. So basically what does that mean series, as I already mentioned. So series, basically if we are accessing a column, it will return the series, list of series. Here we can see reading, study, playing hockey. This one, reading, study, playing hockey. So basically this is the series. Now I want to apply the length method on this column, on this series. So if I'll do data and if I'll pass the hobby column and if I'll apply length method here, so I'll get the length. So reading is the 7th length, study is the 5, playing is the 7th, hockey is the 6, and horse riding is the 12. Right? So like this way we can apply this apply method. So now let's create a function just to update the values. So where what I am doing, I'm just writing the regular function I named as update hobby, and I'm passing the hobby as a parameter, and I'm returning hobby dot upper. So all are these values, reading, study, playing, so these will get converted to the uppercase. So let me run this one. After running this one, what I'll do, data hobby dot apply, and I'm just passing that function without the parenthesis because I don't want to execute this function. Right? Let me run this one. So here you can see when I applied this function, all the values inside the hobby column converted to the uppercases, like reading, study, playing, hockey. Now all are in uppercase. So guys, here basically one more thing is there. So instead of writing these regular functions, we can use the lambda functions as well. So lambda function are some advanced technique. So if you are more comfortable in writing the regular functions, then you can go with that one. So if the calculations are isn't complex and it is easy to use, then you can write the regular functions only. So here what I did, I just converted all the values to the uppercase. So let me make it as original to the lower cases by using the lambda functions. So here what I'll do, the hobby columns, on that hobby column I'm just doing a apply, and inside that I'm passing the lambda function. So lambda functions are basically anonymous functions. So the lambda keyword, the parameter, colon, and this x dot level. So basically lambda functions works with this series only. So please make a note on that one. So lambda functions works on the series only. So here I'm just doing x dot lower. Now let me do. So here you can see all the values inside the hobby columns get converted to the lower cases, right? So these operations we did on this series. Now let's see on the data frame how it behaves and what is the difference. So now instead of writing that one, so I'm just doing data hobby dot apply length. So first let me check the length. So here you can see the 7, 5, 7, 6, 12, right? So this is the normal techniques like earlier I did with the help of series. So directly here I'm applying data dot apply and the length function on the data frames. Now see, here we are getting the length as 555. So what is that 5? So basically guys, 5, that means here this employee first name, how many data we have? 0 to 4th index. So we have 5 rows, right? Employee last name has 5 data, persons underscore job has 5 data. So basically this is checking the length of the every column, right? So now let's do the normal technique. for checking the length. So for the employee first name, here is the employee first name. Let me check the length for this column. So if I'll do length of data and I'm passing employee first name, so here we can see the normal techniques, it's giving also 5. So basically this is behavior. So as I mentioned, apply function can be different on this series and on a data frame. So by default the access equals to row. So now let me do the apply function on the data frame with the length function. So if I'll do that one, then here you can see this time I'm getting 6 0 6 1 6 2 6. So what does that mean? So if I let me make it as rows, so you will get the clear cut idea. So by default it is the row, right? So here we will get df.apply length and basically access equals to row. So default is the rows. If I'll make it as columns, then we are getting a 6. So this time what it is doing, this is counting left to right entire. First Mukesh, then Yadav, then engineer Jaipur, pin code, then hobby. So how many data we have? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is counting now left to right. Now so here you can see that it's actually not applying length function to every value in the data frame, right? So basically it's counting, so it's not applying on the every data frame. Instead of that, it's applying on a series, specifically to the columns. Now manual we can check the length of a series, right? If you check the length of series, then we got the 5, and by applying that one we are getting the some different. So basically it's not applying, right? So this is the behavior. So now guys, let's see the minimum value. If in the data frame we need to find out the minimum value, so what we can do, I'm just writing data, my data frames object data, and applying, and I'm just passing the series inside the pd. So pd dot series dot min method is there, right? If I'll do this one, I'll get the, because admin alphabets start with a. So if you have some numerical data, then we will get some better results and we will get the minimum values. So also these operations, by getting the minimum value, we can use with the lambda functions as I explained earlier. So what we can do here, data dot apply, then lambda function and x dot min, right? Here we can get, but as I mentioned, on lambda functions will work with this series, guys, do remember. So far we have seen how we can do a apply on these series and data frames. So but running apply on a series applies a function to every value in the series, and running apply to a data frame applies a function to every series in the data frames. But is there a way that we can apply a function to every individual element in the data frame, right? So in that scenario, apply map comes into the picture. So what happens, so here what I'm doing, this is the basically series, this will return the series, and I'm just doing the apply map and doing the length column. Okay, so here is series object has no attribute apply map. Yeah, so this is the concept. So basically series object don't have the apply map methods. So what we have do, so here what we can understand, we can't apply this apply map on the series, so we can apply directly on the data frames. So we can do data dot apply map and we can do length here. So now it's what it is doing, it is checking the length basically individual for every individual element. So here in the data, if we can see, so the Mukesh, Yadav, so it's checking the length for individual element, right? So every individual element's length will be calculated like this one. And similarly I can do the lowercase here like that. So data dot apply map and str dot lower. But guys, just do remember, if our data is numerical, we can't do like that one, because the string won't work on the numerical data. So here all the data got applied to the normal. Now let's move forward and I'll discuss the map function. So map only works on this series. So what is the use of the map function? So map used for uh, so basically map function used for substituting each value in a series with another values, right? So it's used to substitute a value with the different value. So now let me access our data. So this is our data, right? And now let's try to substitute the first name. So this is the first name column, and inside the first name I'm just changing this admin. No, sorry, this is the index 2 Raja as Ashish and Willy as Sean, right? So what we can do, I'm just doing this series, right? I'm applying map function, then I'm using a dictionary key value pair. So Raja will replace as Ashish and Willy will replace as Sean. Now let me run this. If I'll run this one, and if I'll do, if I can see here, so Ashish, so Raja basically got replaced with Ashish and Willy got replaced with Sean, right? But apart from this, we can see the NaN values, NaN. So this is bit interesting. So in map function, what happens? So the values which are going to update, that will reflect, and apart from that, it will return the NaN values. So this is something like you won't be interested in that. So just to get rid of that, we can use directly replace method, right? So I'll come on this part. So now let's do the replace method. So if I'll do a replace, instead of map, I can do the replace. So if I'll do replace, here we won't get any NaN values, right? So here I can see Mukesh admin Ashish, earlier it was Raja, and Willy got replaced to Shor and Anna, right? So we are not getting any NaN values. So now let's back to the our map function. So here I have shown like how we can apply a map function. So now let's move to the our bigger data set, and I can show you how we can perform the operations. So now let me read my these CSV files. So guys, I'll be in the description, I'll be providing the link for this data set, so you can download and you can do practice. Now let me do a df.head. So here we can see this is a large amount of data. So how we can apply the map function? So basically for applying the map functions, let me apply only this hobbyist column, right? So here we can see the values are in the yes or no. So basically I want to change this yes as true and no as false. So for applying individual values, so the first way is recently we have seen this map function. So what I have to do, so I'm just doing df hobbyist column. I'm just passing the map function and a dictionary, right? So inside the dictionary, yes value as true and no as false. And just to make the changes, I'm doing in place equals to true, right? But I'm sure this map function don't have this in place parameter. Let me run this one. Yes, right, because in place we don't have. So what we have to do, let me remove this one, let me run this one. So here you can see we are getting true false. So just to make this reflect, what I can do, let me write the code like this one, and I'm just do a assignment like this one. Now if you will do here df.head, so you can see all the values inside the hobbyist column got replaced as true false. But guys, what will happen, suppose in apart from the yes or no, if we have other values like not applicable or something, so in that case that value would be replaced as NaN. So we can use the replace method, right? Yes, so same like replace method we can use. So this is all about the functions, guys, that apply map and replace. So these are the powerful and important concept. So practically we are using these functions in our larger data sets. So that's all about these functions, guys. So keep watching, do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you, guys.